Have you ever felt pulled towards something you couldn't explain? Not fear, not pressure, but a quiet certainty that refuses to leave you alone. Most people ignore that feeling. They call it emotion. They call it coincidence. But here's the truth. That might be the very moment God is trying to direct your life. And if you don't understand how He leads, you might mistake direction for confusion and purpose for pressure. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will recognize the exact signs that God is guiding you, and more importantly, what to do when you realize He is. Number 1, you feel inner alignment before you see external results. Most people think God's direction shows up as obvious signs, clear answers, perfect opportunities. But the truth is, God starts on the inside. It's that quiet pull you feel when no one is influencing you. No pressure, no hype. Just a steady sense of, this is where I'm supposed to go. And here's what most people miss. God speaks through peace, not panic. That doesn't mean the path is easy. It means your spirit isn't fighting it. You may still feel nervous. You may still have questions. But deep down, something feels settled. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." That word rule means to decide, to govern. Peace isn't just a feeling, it's a signal. If the direction brings clarity instead of chaos, if it draws you closer to God, not farther, that's not random. That's guidance. Number 2, doors start closing, and others open unexpectedly. Now this is where it gets uncomfortable, because when God directs your life, things don't always go your way. In fact, many times, they stop going your way. Doors you wanted, closed. Plans you made, blocked. But then suddenly, opportunities you never planned for begin to open, and forcing things starts to feel exhausting. That's not bad luck, that's redirection. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Here's the deeper truth. God often guides by removing options, because as long as you have control, you won't rely on Him. So He simplifies your path, not to limit you, but to align you. Number 3, the path feels uncomfortable, but you're still drawn to it. This is where most people get it wrong. They think, if this is from God, it should feel easy. But the truth is, God's direction often creates resistance before it creates results. Growth feels like pressure. Calling feels like stretching. And obedience? It often feels like risk. You feel pulled forward, but not fully equipped. You sense movement, but not certainty. And here's what most people never realize. That discomfort is not confusion. It's confirmation. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "We walk by faith, not by sight." If you could see everything clearly, you wouldn't need faith. God reveals the path step by step, not all at once. So if you feel uncomfortable, but still drawn forward, you're not lost. You're being led. Number 4, you keep seeing the same message again and again. God doesn't rush clarity. He reinforces it. When He's directing your life, He repeats Himself, not audibly, but consistently. The same message shows up in different ways. A verse you didn't search for. A conversation that answers a private prayer. A thought that won't leave your mind. That's not coincidence, that's confirmation. 2 Corinthians 13:1 says, "Every matter shall be established by 2 or 3 witnesses." God doesn't confuse you, He confirms you. But here's what most people miss. He repeats the message until you respond, not until you feel ready. Number 5, you start losing interest in things that once felt normal. This one is subtle, but powerful. When God is directing your life, your desires begin to shift. Things that once entertained you start to feel empty. Conversations that once excited you start to feel draining. Environments that once felt comfortable start to feel misaligned. Most people think something is wrong, but the truth is, you're outgrowing what no longer aligns with your purpose. This is how God separates you, without announcing it. Because before He changes your direction, He changes your appetite. Number 6, you feel a growing conviction you can't ignore. Conviction is not guilt. It's direction. It's that internal voice saying, this isn't who you're supposed to be. And it doesn't scream, it whispers. But it doesn't go away. The more you ignore it, the louder it feels. The more you resist it, the more uncomfortable you become. That's not pressure. That's alignment trying to happen. Because God doesn't just guide your path. He shapes your identity. And conviction is how He pulls you closer to it. Number 7, you feel called, even without full clarity. This is the final sign, and the most important one. You don't have all the answers. You don't see the full plan, but you feel called, and you can't explain why. You feel like you're supposed to move, even though you're not ready. You feel like something is shifting, even though nothing is visible yet. Most people wait for certainty. But here's the truth. Certainty is not how God leads. Faith is, God confirms direction after obedience, not before it. Just like Peter stepping out of the boat, the water didn't hold him until he moved. So if you're waiting to feel ready, you might be waiting forever. But here's what most people miss. God's direction doesn't force you. It invites you. You can ignore the peace. You can fight the nudges. You can delay the step. Or you can move forward, even while your hands are shaking, because direction is not the same as control. God will show you the path, but He won't walk it for you. Final truth. Let's bring this together. If God is directing your life, you will feel peace before proof. You will see doors close and others open. You will feel uncomfortable but drawn forward. You will hear the same message repeatedly. You will outgrow what once felt normal. You will feel conviction that won't leave. And you will feel called, even without clarity. That is not confusion. That is alignment. That is direction. That is God. So here's the question, and don't answer it lightly. What is God asking you to trust Him with right now? Not someday, not when you feel ready, right now. Type trust in the comments if you feel that pull. Because the moment you recognize His direction is the moment your life begins to change. And if this spoke to you, stay close. Because the next step God is leading you into will require more faith than the last.